Welcome to wonderful Worcester. It's the next city on the schedule. We're here for the GLAL.UK Worcestershire Championship. Now we're fortunate to go around the country, visit some wonderful places all across the Great Britain and Ireland with the tour. John, how much do you enjoy seeing the country?
It's a breath of fresh air, isn't it? Going round, seeing the sights. I mean, we've been lucky. We're here in historical Worcester, you know, with the cathedral here, with the bridge and everything, and seeing the narrow boats. We've been up to Scotland, Montrose, absolutely beautiful, Bath, you know, Cumberwell Park. I mean, it's all going on. We're going over to Ireland, Northern Ireland, Newton Ayres, where Clandy Boy is. There's a lot of history there, the Titanic and everything like that. So, you know, it's going to be brilliant. I can't wait for it, mate.
Brilliant stuff. Well, that's enough from here in the city. Let's get back out to the course for the action. Well, from Worcestershire to the course, we're here at the Vale, a beautiful backdrop. John, great to have you back alongside me.
Loving it, mate.
Before we dive into this week, great win for Will Enifer up at Montrose last week, a guy who's been trending in all the right ways. What do you make of his game and where he could go from here?
Well, we've been blessed over the last, couple of seasons seeing him. Obviously, we didn't have any golf last year, but Will is a hell of a golfer, very determined character, looks after himself as well, looks fit as hell out there on the golf course. Very determined. You can always see it in Will's eyes as well. You know, very intense golfer, really focused on what he wants to achieve. And it's round the corner. The top 5 is what he's chasing. He hasn't been able to get over that line yet. So, it's been, I think it's beckoning that he's going to be able to do it. I mean, he's going all guns a-blazing this week as well. So it's all good for Will and really impressed. I'm not surprised if he racks up 2 or 3 wins this year.
Proper test of golf this week as well. You've been out on the course. What do you make of it?
Well, it's normally a par 74 kit. There's a zillion par 5s out there, and they've, just over your shoulder there is the 9th, and it's a big tee box way up in the distance, there's a big sweeping dog leg from left to right, and that's normally a par 5. It's 490 yards over a brook, the tee shot, so they've reduced that to a par 4, so that's playing an absolute beast. And the 4th as well is a par 5 normally, and that's reduced to a par 4. So the boys are getting it really tough. The scores are a good reflection of that, to be honest. The scores aren't as low as what people thought, because in the Pro-Am, early doors, the scores were really low because they kept these as par 5s. Now they've gone to par 4s. All the boys are going, whoops-a-daisy, this is a bit of a different golf course, and it's showing it, and it's nice. Great
Facilities. We've been doing some cool stuff.
Yeah.
You've been hitting a few shots as well. Getting yourself about around the place.
Yeah.
What little features have we got coming up on the show?
We're heading into Worcester and we're going to just have a lovely time, aren't we? I'm sure we're going to have an absolute field day out there. We're going to try the top tracer out on the range, which they're all kitted out here at the golf course. Ben Robinson, which is Jeremy Robinson's son, I'm going to take him out on the golf course. He's going to help me with a few holes and features and give me a kind of the lowdown and how the course is going to play for the players this week. So I'm really looking forward to it.
Great stuff, John. Brilliant to have you here, as always. Absolutely loads coming up on the show then. But before we get into all that, let's take a little look at the leaderboard as we head into the final round here at the Vale. We're set for a dramatic final round because it's a tightly packed leaderboard. 17 players within 4 shots of the lead. That is a lead jointly held by Rob Burleson and Joe Dean on 9 under par. Just a shot back from them, former Open silver medalist Sam Locke. Ben Hutchinson, who qualified for the Open this week, is at 7 under alongside Ryan Brooks and Jeff Wright. Plenty more waiting behind to climb the leaderboard as well. To find out what happens in this final round, let's get to our commentary team.
Thanks, Kit. Yes, Robert Burleson is about to embark on one of the most important rounds of his career.
It's maybe almost a bit easier to focus rather than being sort of just making the cut. You've got a clear goal when you're up there, sort of in and around the lead. you've got that prize, you know, in front of you, and it's, you know, you get the adrenaline going and the focus. So, yeah, it certainly feels different, but I'd say better really. You know, it's where you want to be, it's where you practice to be.
So Gary, plenty of players in contention, among them a former England amateur international by the name of Tom Sloman, who parred the first. He's playing in the same group as the Order of Merit #1, John Parry.
Yes, it's certainly going to be a very exciting last round, Phil, as we see Sloman's second shot taking a very friendly bounce up towards this pin. That's very nice.
Now on the first, Burleson missed the fairway, but the lie isn't too bad. Plays out of one of the most underrated golf courses in Britain, in my opinion, Enville. Beautiful place in Staffordshire.
Yes, Enville certainly is a wonderful golf course that if anybody gets the chance to visit, they should certainly go there. But listen, easy action, nice balance, got the club well on the ball. So after that very kindly bounce, this for eagle. Just moved, as you can see, just that fraction more than he thought, creeping past the right edge. Easy birdie.
And now two off the pace that's jointly being set by Joe Dean.
Joe, tied for the lead going into the final round. How are you feeling this morning?
Yeah, nice and relaxed. Yeah, just going to keep doing the same stuff and hope for the same results, really.
Some nice momentum from your fourth place finish last week as well. How good is it to feel that the game's just there and it's coming?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, like I said yesterday, it's nobody likes scrounging for cuts and trying to make ends meet every week, so it's nice to be up there and competing.
Now, what can he do on this first hole? Sounded a little bit heavy, right hand off a bit quick. Not bad result though, Phil.
Not at all. Also not bad, very good in fact, was what Ben Hutchinson did earlier this week at St Anne's Old Links. He shot rounds of 66 and 65 to not only qualify for the Open at Royal St George's, but to win the qualifying competition, so congratulations to him. And to be where he is on the leaderboard with no practice round, a fine achievement. Now back on the first, here's Kit.
Rob Burleson's just through the back of the first green, but this up and down should be relatively straightforward. The ball is off of a slight downslope and it will be ever so slightly below his feet as well, but that shouldn't cause any problems for a player of his calibre. He'll want to play it in low, and once it gets running on that green, it's ever so slightly downhill and we'll just bleed a touch from left to right. Hopefully he can knock this one close and it's a nice settler early in the round.
Very still out there today, and interested spectators following our leader. Played that very nicely, but as Kit said, it is downhill and it's just run away. Firm wrist, bumped down onto the back of the ball, beautifully lifted onto the green, and not bad.
Hutchinson for eagle and a share of the lead. Extraordinary really when you consider he shot 64 in the second round after being in danger of missing the cut after an opening round 73.
Yes, a tremendous bounce back. Now this long effort from Joe Dean, pretty well judged. Should be able to slip that one in a second.
The first of the par threes, and Tom Sloman. Looks good. He has been in contention so far this season. Tied second at Camberwell with the first round 64. He's one of those winners in waiting.
Burleson back up the slope. Don't think there'll be much movement in this one. Perhaps he thought that there was going to be a little bit, or maybe it was just a bit of a misread.
Turned pro in September 2019, did Sloman. And of course, most of 2020 was wiped out by the COVID-19 pandemic. But now making up for lost time. Perfectly judged putt.
This one from 2.5 feet. Not what he wanted to start, as one goes a-begging.
Shouldn't be any concerns for Joe Dean, though. Solid.
Well, we're here at the Vale for the PGA EuroPro Tour, and I've got my main man here, Jordan Fox, who I see all the time on the European Tour, setting up this bad boy, top tracer for all the boys, and you actually get to see where the ball flight goes and everything. And Jordan, I want to come to you because, mate, we got some history. I've seen you for the last couple of years, and I got to ask you a few questions about this baby. What makes this so special and everyone loves it? Can you tell me that?
I think it's great, just especially for the TV, that you can actually see where the ball goes in the air, which when we stood here behind the player, you can see the ball anyway, can't you?
Yeah,
with your eye.
definitely.
But on the TV, you don't get to see it very often. You cut to the ball follow, you see a ball in the air, then you see it land. But with this, you can actually see the line and the ball flight that the pros take, which is, it's good. So it's...
Man, I got to say, you know, obviously this is a serious bit of kit. I don't want to go into what it's worth or whatever like that. But I do want to ask you, because we've been out on tour a while now, what's the best shot and the worst shot you've ever seen on Top Tracer?
I think the worst shot was probably this week, actually. One of the guys smashed one of the signs on the hole-in-one hole, and unfortunately it didn't trace because it only went knee height.
Oh, right.
But the best shot was probably Scottish Open, I think, last year, when, I don't know if you probably remember, Westwood hit, we traced his second shot into one of the par fives,
Right.
with the fairway Top Tracer, and it went really close. It was great, really good ball flight, low draw, rolled up close, knocked it in for an eagle, and that was probably the best one I've seen.
Is it? Oh man, well, I tell you what, there's many more to come. I mean, what's the future of Top Tracer as well? What have you got planned for us with this baby?
Well, this week we're actually, for the first time, doing it on the EuroPro Tour. So tomorrow we're going to follow the last 3 or 4 groups and try and get as much footage as we can of the boys playing tomorrow in the final groups, which should be good, and hopefully there'll be a few more on EuroPro in the future.
This is one kind of track and trace we don't want to see the end of. After a bogey birdie start, we see that lovely little draw, quite a low ball flight from Jeff Wright.
Yeah, good shot, nicely pin high.
So Gary, what benefit do the pros get out of this?
Well, Phil, I think the benefit really is more in terms of using it regularly in practice. If you're trying with your coach to change your game, change the ball flight, you've got a detailed backup for it there. As we saw, not too good a shot from Brooks, missing the green to the right.
As for Dean on the second, well, he's going down the left-hand side of the hole, but still a birdie opportunity. Shouldn't be too complex a chip.
I think Ryan Brooks has been a little bit fortunate there, although it's very thick grass. He looked to have found a fairly clear spot, and he's played a great shot. That's amazing. Just shows there's more than one way to kill a cat.
He's a magic man, Ryan Brooks. Last summer at Whittington Heath, his home club, he shot a 56.
Is that right? That's extraordinary.
10 birdies, eagle the last, hole in one on the fourth, and he missed 2 6-footers. As we see Joe Dean play a really neat chip on the second. Every likelihood of a birdie.
Jeff Wright coming across the green, fairly flat putt, but it picks up a bit of speed towards the end. Oh, it's beautifully judged. It went in at pace, but that was never anywhere else.
Rapid, that was, wasn't it?
So this for Dean to gain sole possession of the lead. And move, yeah, double digits under the card. Now, thanks to being 4 under through 7, I can tell you Northern Ireland's Dermot McElroy has catapulted into a 7-man tie for third. Up top, Joe Dean leads the way, 1 clear of Ben Hutchinson, now tackling a hole that's caught John Morgan's eye.
Well, we come to the 4th. Now, here at the Vale, this is a par 5, but for the players this week, it's going to be a par 4, and a beast at that one at 506 yards. Now, you know, when it comes to extra yardage, as you can see, it plays downhill, big camber of right to left. Bunker lurks down the left as well. Now, our cameraman, Matt, has just gone up there on the right. That's where I want to aim. Now, if you think of it, if I come over to the left-hand side and I hit towards Matt, I'm hitting into the slope. Now, if I come over to the right-hand side, I'm hitting with the slope. There it is. And there we have it, going with the slope. Bit leftish to begin with, but that's going to bound on miles down there. Taking on a bit of the corner as well, really reducing this hole. And this is what the 4th is all about. Absolute monstrous par 4. Just take it on, blast it.
Great bit of advice there for John, for our viewers. A little bit of course management. See if you can use a slope. As we saw, this one's down the left-hand side. Very light rough. Traverse the fairway, but almost pin high.
Since we saw Sloman coax in that birdie putt on the 3rd, he's had a couple of pars, so remains 8 under. But Gary struggling to stay there now.
Yes, I'm sure he expected that to run out a bit more than it did, and some work to do. As we see Hutchinson, again you could hear good contact on the ball, and chance for securing a par on this 500-yard revised par 5.
Sloman's first bogey of the day, and now he's 3 off the pace.
He just needs to keep this just inside the edge of the hole. He was up immediately and a pull straight off the bat.
After a bogey on 1, Burleson's had a couple of pars on 2 and 3. Will it run enough? Will it scamper? Trying its best. What we know, the approach of Dean should be simpler.
Joe Dean's down the right-hand side of the 4th fairway. Fortunately, he's come through those trees that our cameraman has just walked past, but he now faces a very difficult shot. Out of the rough, off of a downhill lie. 225 yards to get it back there as well, although it will play shorter than that as it's downhill. The key though, there are red stakes. The water comes in short left, it wraps around the back of the green as well. He wants to keep it away from that. The safe shot here, up the right-hand side, let the gradual contours bring it into the centre of the green.
With its sheer length and all of the stuff that Kit's described, no wonder this hole has produced more double bogeys or worse than any on the course.
Well, I think that was very well controlled from that lie. And Hutchinson on the 5th. And again, see, just trying to hold that one up, which the tracer shoulders. Oh, what a shot. That was great, beautifully played, beautifully followed by everybody.
On the crest of a wave, Gary, going to the Open doing well here. Life is good. But Burleson, with his third, doesn't find the green. Looks like the same result as the first, a bogey.
Just off the fringe. And the very lofted option, because it's, as you can see, severely downhill from where he was. Well, ball's going in from all over the place. That was fantastic.
I'll say it again, Ryan Brooks, Magic Man. I wonder if he has 56 put on his golf balls. Oh, it certainly would have.
Yeah, I think I'd want to shout about that. It's incredible. Jodine. Swinging down the hill and swinging right in. Oh, very casual raise of the hand there from Mr. Dean.
This isn't an official term, Gary, but I think if you make a birdie on 4, it's a birdie and a half.
Yeah, I think that's a fair comment. Little one tapped in there by Hutchinson. Burleson, our over-note leader, with this par putt from just off the fringe. Sliding behind, and another one's going in the wrong direction, Phil.
Yes, with that, Burleson slips off the first page of the leaderboard. Jack Davidson, a hugely talented prospect from Wales, already on the back nine, has joined the group, tied second. But look at Dean, 2 clear, as he chats with Kit.
Joe, 2 under for the first few holes. How do you feel the round's going so far?
Yeah, just steady. A little bit not quite as straight as what I was hoping on the last tee shot, but yeah, I'll take 2 under after the first few. So.
And how's the course playing? It seems to be really good scoring conditions.
Yeah, it's very similar to the last few days, really. Not much wind. Firmness seems relatively similar to the last few days, so yeah, pretty much same again, hopefully.
You've been in contention many a time on the EuroPro Tour now, so you're pretty chilled in a situation like this?
I'm trying to be as chilled as possible. I think if anybody says they're chilled in these sort of situations, I think they'd be lying, but yeah, just go through the motions, do what you do and see what happens at the end of the day.
Lovely start, thanks Joe.
Cheers, Kit.
Coming up after the break, one man in a boat. Just. You know, our pal John Morgan is known for messing about. This time it's a case of messing about on the water.
Right. Mate, this is alright, isn't it?
Yeah, it's not too bad this at the moment. Are we going to go try go all the way around? Or?
Yeah, mate, we'll just do it. Well, I'm joined by Jake Ayres here, and me and Jake have decided to go for a little, gondola ride, really, isn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, I feel very romantic, me and you, at the moment.
Yeah, I can feel the love.
But Jake, I want to, while we're trying to figure all this out and we don't sink, can you level with me? How's lockdown been? And obviously, start of this year, you're looking like you're more consistent from when I seen you like 2 years ago. Can you talk me through that?
Yeah. During lockdown, I think everyone did it. Got a net, and then I just smashing balls into that, just trying to work on the game. It's very easy just to sit there and let the time just kind of go by, really. And
Where are we going? We're going to get in unison.
We need
you
to
go first.
Yeah, I'll
you
go.
And I'll go with you. Oh, what's that? Look at the size of that fish. How nice is it to have the EuroPro back again?
Oh, amazing. It's just so good to be back up competing like week on week, going to different venues and, just trying to win each week. And I think everyone's enjoying it, and the course has improved year on year, so that's definitely helping.
Ultimate goal this year, goal setting. What was your goals at the start of the year? Obviously top 5, is it?
Yeah, top 5. I kind of set small goals. I just wanted to kind of improve my world ranking, which I did that at Harleyford.
Yeah, you did, yeah.
But yeah, top 5 really. Now the European Tour School's not kind of going ahead. yeah, top 5's the main goal, and I just want to win an event. I know it's easier said than done, but I feel like I'm capable of doing it. It's just going to be a matter of just putting it all together, and I've come close at Harleyford, so there's no doubt in my mind that I can go do it.
Well, everyone went low at Harleyford, so if you can go low, mate, you can go low anywhere.
Absolutely.
I mean, on a golf course like this, though, at the Vale, looks like it's in good condition. And what do you think's going to win it this week?
I said anywhere between like 11 to 14, just because it's past 72. Obviously, I think the normal is 74, isn't it? But the greens, I find the greens quite like deceiving at times. They look like a bit more break, but they're actually a bit straighter. So I think if you can drive it well for here, and you can set yourself up a lot of opportunities. So yeah, I think 11 to 14 unders probably.
I don't know.
Come
on, give me a high five, mucker. There we go. Boom.
Absolutely.
Shake the room. And let's chuck in our cameraman right to death. So here we go. Look, watch him go now. Watch him go now, because he's really going to absolutely chuck the toys out of the pram. Watch. So we got this. So I'm going to put a ball over there. All right.
Series can do it closer to the backside. At least I can save my camera.
There you go. 3. Boom.
Can we go back now?
Yeah, we're going now. We're going this way. The other way, man.
I think the boat's filling up with water.
I don't think we'll make the Olympic rowing team, will we?
Mate, what are we doing? Hey! And we've landed.
Back on dry land, Joe Dean's metaphorically keeping his head above water. He leads the Glal.UK Worcestershire Masters by 2 from a quintet of chasers. As for Robert Burleson, tied at the top with Dean overnight, he's 4 off the pace and looking to regroup on the shortest hole on the course.
Yeah, that's an important tee shot for Burleson. Nice swing, very straight shot, as you could see. Finds the putting surface.
This course measures almost 7,200 yards. We have 4 par 4s over 450, and the 6th is only 8 yards short of that. Mind you, oozing confidence. Nothing is a problem for Hutchinson at the moment.
Well, here we are having a look at the 7th hole, 403 yards. No fairway bunkers, beautifully defined fairway to a big sort of peanut-shaped green. These bunkers don't really come into play, water on the left, but again, just good straight hitting should be the order of the day as we look at Sloman from the middle of the fairway here. A slight misjudgment, half a club short, rueful shake of the head.
Now Hutchinson, good friend of Marcus Armitage, who recently won on the European Tour at the Porsche European Open. Plays out of the Howley Hall Golf Club in Leeds, and they'll be loving this performance up there.
Can Burleson get his round back on track? Down the slope. Yes, that's a cracking putt. It'll bring a smile to his face.
Now we've seen 2 chip-ins already today. What about a third? Well, I wasn't expecting it. Like a rat down a drain pipe.
I think it's a tribute to the quality of the golf course, Phil. Following his birdie, Burleson second. Has he chosen the right club? Hold on, hold on. Yep, pin high. Look at the 6th. 448 yards, swinging dog leg, downhill, This bunker's about 300 yards off the tee, but with it being downhill, it does come into play. And then again, it's like kidney-shaped green, big green. So opportunities if you can get a couple of good strikes away. What's our leader going to show us? Yet another cracking shot, Phil. That's what he's going to show us, right by the pin.
Making a tricky hole look much easier than it actually is. Now, all about the lie this down 7. At least he's avoided the really thick stuff. And even from the rough, control of the golf ball.
Yeah, very well controlled. Fairly lofted club. But you can see he was fortunate with a good lie and played a great shot to good advantage. Burleson up over the slope from the fringe and fooled by the fringe grass and the slope up. In danger of slipping straight back again.
Hutchinson to reclaim a share of the lead. Oh, the most galling type of putt. Well read, perfectly read in fact. Just not enough juice.
About 15 feet or so, this for Dean, up the slope. No trouble at all. Playing very well, and what's good about Joe Dean this year, he's worked hard on it, but he's definitely calmer demeanour than previous seasons.
Burleson to avoid his third bogey of the round. Oh, and he's fallen victim to it. So with Dean's birdie and that bogey, they were tied when they teed off. Now he's 5 back. Generally, though, as per the norm on the EuroPro Tour, the standard of golf is excellent. Dean leads by 2 from the Kelroy and Hutchinson, but the last few groups have still got to conquer the fearsome 9th, a real test, explained by John Morgan and Ben Robinson.
Now, Ben, you've been a member here for donkey's years. This one was a par 5, now a par 4. Liking it?
Yeah, it's a strong par 4 now, John. It's from the white tees, it's 480 yards, I think it is.
Yeah.
Plays obviously downhill, big raised tee.
What kind of areas have you got to really dodge on this, a hole like this?
You've just got to really, aim at that tree in the middle of the fairway.
Yeah.
And that's your perfect line. And if you can just miss that,
yeah.
That's ideal. It's a pretty well protected green, bunkers around, the front left and all the way up the right.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's pretty self-explanatory really. Just get your tee shot away and, it's, a good par 4 for this week.
One of those holes where length is a real advantage and Sloman doesn't lack it.
No, he's a really powerful golfer. Big hit. And our tracer showing that it's heading right beside that tree that we were told about. Well carried it. Perfect position.
As it is for Dean on 7. He's looking smooth. Well, at least he can't blame the caddy.
Lovely sound there. Zipped into the back of the ball. Sit down. Yeah, very well controlled.
A mighty hole brought to its knees. Now after that approach, misjudged, Dean will be really happy to walk off with a par. And overwhelmingly likely he will do so.
Sloman's putt here, back up the slope. Oh, it just topples nicely in the front. That was very well judged.
That's one of only 30 birdies on that hole all week. It's the fewest number of birdies on any hole.
Yep, Dean taps in for his par.
Another hole ticked off by the leader, but he knows this isn't a day to rest on laurels if that elusive first EuroPro Tour victory is going to be achieved. Mind you, it's not only the champion who will be a major beneficiary of the Vale.uk Worcestershire Masters.
Michelle, can you tell us a bit about the charity and what you do, please?
Yeah, of course. So I'm Michelle Nolan. I'm Engagement Coordinator for the Grace Kelly Childhood Cancer Trust. We're a local Worcester children's cancer charity that was set up in memory of 4-year-old Grace to help support children diagnosed with cancer and their families. So we support families locally and nationally with emotional and financial support. We also give children in isolation the use of an AV1 robot following cancer treatment so that they can stay in contact with their classmates and take part in classroom activities. And we also provide resources which help parents and children understand some of the challenges that they may face.
How did the charity get involved with the EuroPro Tour and how does it help?
Oh, we were really lucky. Jeremy contacted us and asked us if we'd like to join the Pro Tour as the chosen charity, which was amazing for us because A, it's the first physical event that's taken place that we can actually go and see people and be in a room with, and B, it's such a prestigious event and it's great awareness for us and to be able to tell more people about what we do. And it actually came through Chris Pennell, the rugby player from Worcester Warriors. He'd taken us as his chosen charity for his testimonial year and then recommended that Jeremy supported us through the Pro Tour as well. So we are massively grateful for that support and awareness.
What a splendid job Michelle and her colleagues do. We'll be back at the Vale in just a moment. Welcome back to the scenic Worcestershire countryside and to the outstanding Vale Golf and Country Club, where perennial EuroPro Tour contender Joe Dean is attempting to nail down his breakthrough win. Dean leads by 2 from Ben Hutchinson and Dermot McElroy, the latter vying for the status of hottest player on the course, with James Fraser 6 under for the round playing 16 and still thirsty for birdies.
James Fraser from McInnes Peninsula. This little chip from the front. Nicely played run out. Yeah. Very fiery round from Fraser.
Yeah, in the 4th group out and could set the clubhouse mark.
Hutchinson. Got a grass flying, dug at that one a bit. And is it gonna, oh, it stayed on the bank.
The 9th is tough, but the 10th, now that's a different proposition altogether, as John explains.
Well, this is where it all starts, isn't it? Back 9 on final day. You know, you come to the 10th, it's a par 5, massive dog leg from left to right, round the corner. You can cut the corner. It's 528, a little bit of breeze into my face at the moment. So I'm thinking of going on the edge of the trees with a bit of fade and see how much I can chew off. I can see old Matty Boy in the distance. I'm thinking, do I aim at him and do that, or am I taking on a bit more? I think I'll take on a bit more. Feeling pretty good with this one. Now, outward driver, come over to the left-hand side to open up my angle a little bit more instead of going down the right. Gives me a clearer view. Let's see what the first driver comes out with. And there's a ripper with a little fade round the corner. Is it got the carry, or is Matt going to give it the thumbs down? I seen it bounce. It's got to be all right, isn't it? Let's go up there and find out, eh? Well, I've ripped my drive just on the fairway by about a foot, which is dead handy on the right-hand side. Took it over the corner. All in all, it's saying I've hit it around about the 280 mark, which is about right for me. I could have probably squeezed an extra 10 out of it, but I didn't quite catch it, a bit heely. It's saying I got about 234, and that's from the red dot, which I'm virtually next to. So about 233 in total I've got to the front edge. Now, it's a dilemma time for me. So it's 3-wood or a 2-iron. 3-wood, I know I'm going to get the height. So he's got the chance to stop him, but I think it's going to go too far. The 2-iron, I think, is a perfect club, but it's going to come in really low and hot. Straight at it, sunshine. Straight at it, sunshine. Go ball. Always a big bounce, a little bit to the left. But with a par 5 like this here at 10, whew, good drive away, you've got to take it on.
And Gary, I think Tom Sloman's in an even better position than John was.
Certainly looks that way, Phil. This is absolutely position A. Soaring up into the blue sky. Yeah, nicely aboard the green. Well judged.
As was the chip we saw a moment ago of James Fraser, so a mere tap in for birdie. What a round he's putting together.
So this is awkward, as you can see from the stance. Ball quite well above his feet. Very easy for the ball to pop off the face to the left side here, just from the lie angle of the club. But a bad judgment, really, from what was a difficult place.
Now this, for Eagle, to get right into the thick of things. Unusually tentative.
Can Ben Hutchinson salvage his par? No, and that one's not quite dead yet. Sloman, this from a yard. Yes, nicely in. Good birdie.
And a source of relief. The last thing these guys want to do is find a par 5 in 2 and then 3 putt.
As we see James Fraser firing the ball into the 17th green. Can he close out this wonderful round with a little more profit?
So a second bogey of the day for Hutchinson, and there's a common theme. He's made both of the bogeys so far on very lengthy par 4s.
This is a lovely view, looking down the fairway. Dean, with probably the perfect shape, aimed it at the big tree. Tracer tells us it had a little bit of fade on it, and there it is. Perfect.
Fraser's been holding plenty, but not that one. It was a really good putt. One of his playing partners said unlucky, and you can only concur. Just didn't quite give it enough break.
No, not quite. As we have a look at Jeff Wright on the 10th. Second shot. As you could see, it came out a bit low and quickly turning to the left, and it's down in one of those cavernous bunkers.
Now it's about time Joe Dean won, you know. 18 top 10s on the EuroPro Tour. He's been so close so often. Will the door open today? Well, he's played this front 9 impressively.
Hutchinson, out of the lightest of semi-rough, just trying to work the ball round from left to right, and hasn't quite got enough bend on it.
Joe Dean has found the heart of the 9th green. He's got 30 feet for birdie here. It's quite a swift one though. There's a little gradual tier. It will just make its way down about 1/3 of the way along its journey. A quick word on the conditions though. The sun is out now. It's starting to really heat up and there's no wind whatsoever. I think we'll see some really good scoring opportunities throughout the back 9.
Just embellishing that theme of EuroPro Tour near misses for him. He's had 9 top 5s, 6 top 3s. he's playing so far, Gary, a top one looks likely here.
I certainly agree with that, Phil. Now this looks a bit awkward. Looks as though he's standing just outside the bunker to get down and reach the ball in the sand for Jeff Wright. But he's played that very well from an extremely difficult situation.
On the hole where everything will be decided, Fraser needs a birdie for a 64.
Lovely tempo of the swing there. The ball, just a little bit of fringe to come over in a moment or two.
Now Ryan Brooks, he's already chipped in twice. Might have preferred to miss the green here, considering his strike rate. What a roll that was.
This little tiddler for our leader. Yeah, another hole. Safely negotiated. Looking very calm.
The man from Forest Golf Club in Moray. Designed by James Braid, one of the great triumvirates. And that was pretty great from Wright.
Hutchinson. Yeah. Can he convert for a birdie on 10? He certainly can. Yeah, very good. Happy days.
It's been specifically a happy day for Fraser. No birdie on the last, but around here, Gary, a 65 is a really good knock.
Yes, it certainly is. It's a big course, tough course. Conditions are kind, but one little blemish there on the fourth. Eagle to start back in 31. A fabulous round of 65.
James, fantastic round of 7 under par. How pleased are you with that?
Yeah, very. Haven't had much form last couple of weeks, but yeah, it's good to shoot a good score in the last round.
What was it you did so well out there today?
Putted a little bit better today. That's been my downfall the last few weeks. Just spoke to someone on Tuesday, and I think I wasn't enjoying putting. And I tried to enjoy it more this week, and I definitely hold a few more putts. And today, yeah, just hold a couple and rode the momentum.
What do you make of the course and conditions today?
Yeah, great. Obviously, you know, sun's out now today. Lovely and warm. It makes the course look great. Obviously, you know, it's a good course. And you know, I think everyone's you know, really enjoyed it this week.
Fraser sets the clubhouse target. McElroy might well go even lower, having turned in 31, then birdied the 11th, a bonus 2 on a tricky hole that Hutchinson, tied third, 2 back right now, is trying to emulate.
Par 3 11th, 202 yards. Pin a dozen yards on today, and the umpire signals wide.
Another terrific tee shot from Tom Sloman. But the second does not match. There's also been a miscue of sorts from the leader.
Joe Dean's down the right-hand side of the par 5 10th. He's got a little bit of tree trouble here, and there's a little bit of water that cuts across as well. That's about 130 yards from here. The sensible play, definitely just to knock it out, get it back in play there, leave himself a good yardage to attack the flag for the third. But it's only about 200 yards to that flag. It's not a particularly long shot, But is it worth taking on what would be quite a risky shot? He'd have to start it low under these overhanging branches, a good 15, 20 yards up ahead as well. And he'd have to get it sweeping left to right, a good 40 or 50 yards. He might take it on in a practice round. I'd be very surprised if he does in this situation right now.
So is he of the same mindset as Kit? He certainly is.
Hutchinson doesn't want to lose any more momentum. Not happy with the bounce, but the result not too bad at all for the man who's in his debut season on the EuroPro Tour and has started encouragingly.
Following a sensible play from under the trees. Difficult for miracles to happen when you're in a tough place, but get it back in play and you might have a miracle on your hands.
We've seen plenty of eagles and birdies today, but it's these par putts that glue a title challenge together, and consequently that stings.
Yeah, well rolled in there from Sloman, from off the green, saving the par.
Yeah, one of those holes for Sloman. Good for the putting stats, not good for the nerves.
Dean. Yeah, well done. Sensible play, rewarded.
Yes, and on the Vale's international course, it's entirely fitting that players from England, Northern Ireland, Wales and Scotland feature on a leaderboard headed by Joe Dean. Like all of the competitors here, thankful for the support of the tournament sponsors.
Well, we're here at Galal, and what a special place it is. I'm alongside Anthony, the owner of this joint, and I tell you what an amazing place, buddy. You are the sponsor of the PGA EuroPro Tour at the Vale. What's it like?
Awesome experience. Glad we took the step into it. Most important, we got clients out of their offices for the Pro-Am, and they all left with happy smiley faces. You can't buy that.
Well, Anthony, what's it like to feel like you're further in the career of these youngsters coming through?
Proud, really. You know yourself, it's a tough game to get to the top. And this is the EuroPro. It's just a brilliant sounding ground to learn your trade, and for me to give a bit back into the sport I love, couldn't be happier.
You're impressed with the standard of golf as well?
I think everybody would be when they see it. It's awesome.
Awesome is a very good word to describe the action on the EuroPro Tour that continues after the break. Event 5 of the EuroPro Tour season is following a recognisable pattern. Terrific venue, tremendous golf. Joe Dean leads by 2 from Dermot McIlroy, the man from Ballymena, who's 7 under for the round. That said, he doesn't have a monopoly on low scoring. Take, for example, Jack Davidson, 5 under for the day, hitting his approach to the 15th. As joining me in commentary is the tournament director, Ashley Willer.
Can't quite see whether Jack's on the fairway or he's missed it left. And a good result. Good result indeed.
I must say the introduction of the tracer has been a really great asset. We've been able to determine the ball flight of these guys, and also the direction, which wasn't the best, but the old members bounce.
Oh, it was a good one. Only about a 7-iron there for Joe, so a bit of a miscue, but good chance to get up and down.
just a par for Davidson as we go to Ben Hutchinson on 13 in the Mayor's office.
Looks like he's right on centre stripe there. Plenty of height on the approach. But he won't be overly happy with that one.
Tom Sloman has got low scores in him. He won a mini tour event at Surrey Downs last year with rounds of 63, then 64.
That is some scoring, that, Phil.
Well, you know, Ashley, there are so many players on this tour capable of winning, and he's right at the top of the list.
He is indeed. The standard is off the charts these days. These guys are so good.
Our first look today at Sam Locke, protege of former Open champion Paul Lawrie, striking a terrific shot into the 11th hole. He made a bogey on 3, 1 birdie so far today, so level for the card.
Tip that, Ben.
Wow. That's how you rectify an error, I guess. I was travelling at a little bit of speed, but wow, well done.
Don't know whether you heard there, Jeff Wright said, "What's going on with you boys?" Because, of course, the other member of that 3-ball is Ryan Brooks, who's had 2 chip-ins already himself.
Sloman for birdie on 14. Absolutely pin high. Won't be an awful lot of movement in this one. I'll fancy his chances.
Cut.
Centre cup. Nice to hear the players encouraging each other. You hear it all the time.
Yeah, real good camaraderie on this tour. Now, we saw Davidson flirting with those flowers. Thankfully, he wasn't in the flower bed. But the chip was always left and not his best.
Tee shot on 14 for Hutchinson. This hole measuring just a tad over 200 yards, 204 yards. They'll be hitting 5 and 6 irons into this, I should think. Just missing her left, but pretty straightforward chip from there.
Now, there's no point having a slice of luck if you don't take advantage of it. It was a good bounce for Joe Dean. A little steamy, just a grain of doubt as to whether he will save par.
It'll keep his attention for sure, that one. After his excursion just by the flowers, Davidson just shaving the edge of the hole for birdie. You're disappointed with that. 16 is a scoreable par 5. He will feel like he's dropped half a shot to the field there.
Yes, and with his power, par 5s, they're had for breakfast.
Jeff Wright, one of our examples of the pre-qualifying on Mondays. He got through a couple of times. Now he's got a firm foot on the tour and playing very well too.
And talking of playing well, Dermot McIlroy has been on fire today. Now he's on the 16th hole, and so too is Kit.
McIlroy is on the charge and he's down the centre of the 16th fairway. It's the final of the 4 par 5s and he's set up a wonderful opportunity to pick up another shot or 2. 252 yards to the pin. It's slightly uphill. That pin is nicely in the middle of the green as well. It's accessible. There's barely a breath of wind. Maybe the slightest little bit into, but he shouldn't have to worry about that. Really good chance to be aggressive here.
And here he goes. Big tree on the left, short of the green. It does narrow up. They have to be very accurate. That's a low, hooky one running up. That might have caught a bunker short left.
What a week it's been for Hutchinson. We've talked about him qualifying for the Open. In the first round here, Covered the front 9 in 39. Next day, covered it in 30.
That's a good improvement plan, isn't it? Lock on 11. Trying to roll her in for a birdie. I think, as they say, that one was in all the way.
Right. He was tied second at Donington Grove. In the top 15 also at Montrose last week. And heading for another useful result here. Remember, the top 5 on the order of merit at the end of the season, as that one just about sneaks in. The top 5 on the order of merit at the end of the season qualify for the Challenge Tour in 2022. What an incentive.
McIlroy, third shot on 16. From the rough. Popping up towards the fringe. Going to come up a little bit short, but not a bad effort. That didn't look like the greatest of lies there.
He's been really dependable all day on the greens, Joe Dean. And no change there.
Long par effort for Hutchinson. Needs this one. And gets it. Cannot afford to be dropping shots now, chasing Joe.
Sloman on 15. A hole that's yielded a birdie to him already this week.
Not sure quite where that one's finished. Have to wait and see.
McIlroy for 9 under for the day and a share of the lead. He's come roaring through the field. Someone said get in, but he just tapered away. Reminds me of the story about the great Ben Hogan. Someone said to him once, well, you can't birdie every hole. And he said, why not?
Well, we come over to the back 9 now, and this is the 13th. Real strong, whopping par 4, probably the hardest hole on the golf course, well over 400 yards. And Ben, my man, you were telling me this is a new bunker.
Yeah,
Marco.
Yeah, they decided to put some new fairway bunkers in for this event and going forward, really, just to add a bit of a new dimension to the golf course. I mean, some people would say this is hard enough as it is. It's a 460 par 4 from the back tees, usually into a prevailing wind. But yeah, this fairway bunker up the right here, it's in a good spot, you know, because ideally you want to be up the right-hand side with the fairway sloping right to left. So, you know, it hopefully will catch a few people out.
Well, it hasn't caught Joe out. He's well left of that bunker. He's got about 160 yards to go, so he'll be coming in with about a 9-iron here. Plenty of height on it. Nearly pitched it straight in the hole. What a great shot that is. Just rolled off the back edge, but he's only about 6 paces away from the hole.
Sloman tied second recently at Camberwell Park, helped by a first round 64, but he doesn't like that. Head down, not finding the surface.
I think the body language says it all there. Maybe caught a flyer. Locker's also steered well away from the bunkers up the right. He's coming from a similar place to Joe. Can you get a similar result? Not bad.
Now Sloman has already made one gritty up and down on the back 9. Another required here.
Yeah.
Not bad, but under pressure.
Young Sam trying to put the pressure on Joe. bold, a little bit of work coming back. But you've got to be bold at the moment if you're going to catch Dean.
And we've got to the stage where this for Sloman is a must-make if he's going to safeguard title ambitions. Well, Ash, an indication of A, his putting stroke, and B, these beautiful greens here.
The greens are fantastic. The whole golf course has been presented magnificently well by Mark Heath and his team. Full credit to them. Just fell in the left-hand side, but Dean won't care. Another birdie.
Yes, every time his lead has been placed under threat, Dean's responded and does so again. His two-shot cushion has been restored from McIlroy. And while it's just a little too early to say this definitively, the Glal.UK Worcestershire Masters is moving ever closer to a two-horse race. And these are the two golfing thoroughbreds racing towards the winning line. You know, the hills and valleys of Worcestershire and its neighbouring county Herefordshire were the inspiration for the works of Edward Elgar, and on that theme, so many of those vying for victory at the Vale have struck the right note today. Leading the orchestra and the tournament is Joe Dean, 2 in front, 5 holes to negotiate, having arrived on the 14th.
Joe Dean trying to compose a good shot into this par 3. Accessible flag, halfway up the green on the right. 204 yards. He's going at it with a 6-iron. How's he going to do? He'll be perfectly happy with that.
So what news of McIlroy on 17?
Driving iron off the tee for McIlroy, and he's set up just 114 yards at the pin here on 17. Looks like an infinity green, there's nothing behind it, but he will know that flagstick is perched at the back of the green on a tier. The key here, fly it all the way back there and generate enough spin to hold it close to the hole on that back tier.
It's only 5 paces from the flag to the back of this green, so attack with caution, if that makes sense. And that is a very good effort.
A couple of runner-up finishes on the EuroPro Tour in 2017 for McIlroy, who recently was tied 4th in the Irish Challenge at Portmarnock. There's nothing like confidence, as Ben Hutchinson will tell you. Look at that.
No wonder he was striding after that one. Great shot. Oop, there it is. 16th hole, long par 5. Fairway tapers in at about 350 yards, leaving you about 200 to the front. And it gets very narrow up near the green. Bunker on the left, that tree, big tree on the left overhangs. It's a narrow little target. It's a good scoring opportunity, but plenty of room to get yourself in trouble as well.
Yeah, the lengthiest hole in the course. And that doesn't look too appetising. Well, that's a sound sometimes that can save you.
Spectator didn't see it, but it nearly killed him. Back to lock on 14. Solid swing Sam's got. Very nice player. And I don't give it commentator's curse. Good shot.
Now let's see if Hutchinson can convert.
Will he walk after this one, Kevin Nahr style? Oh dear. I think he left the putter blade open there from his actions after he hit it.
One of the greatest putters ever was someone called Hutchinson, Dennis Hutchinson, who won the South African Open as an amateur and the French Open as a pro.
It's run on and on. That looked quite good for a little while, but finished quite a way away. Massive putt for McIlroy. This is to go 9 under on the day. Just fell in the right edge, but they all count. 9 under par for the round. Incredible.
His surname is one letter different from a certain Rory, but he's playing like Rory right now.
Dean trying to stretch his advantage at the top. Putted beautifully all day, but not this time. Just fell away to the right. Don't think he was expecting that. I think he thought he'd hold that when he hit it.
Ever the pro, always making sure he's not standing on anyone's line. And now he's going to a hole where he made his last bogey of the week. The 15th, his 6th hole on day 1.
Well, there's an outside chance from that kind of range, but I'll close it up right next to the hole. Can lock convert on the 14th. Nope, not this time. He thought that was going to come in from the right as well. I think JK has mentioned it, that the greens are very subtle. No huge breaks on them, so little subtle borrows here and there that catch the players out every now and again.
Lock occupies a share of 4th. Dean's clinging on to pole position, but the spotlight shining on McIlroy, who with a birdie on the last would card a 62. Mind you, as John and Ben tell us, that's a tough ask.
Well, last but not least, we're at the 18th hole. Here with Ben Robinson. He's already played a day. We come to the final hole. It's 440 yards, par 4. Little soft little dogleg, looks like, Ben, you know, round the corner from right to left. Now, you just said to me, it looks like they're all hitting 3 woods off there, but you love to hit driver. Can you tell me why driver?
Yeah, I mean, you've got a bit of a decision to make on the tee. As we can see back there, it's quite wide at like 240, 250 from the back tees. And then it, you know, bottles in a little bit. But if you hit the ball right to left, okay, you know, you can get way down here with a driver. You know, so it's a little bit risk-reward element to it.
Yeah, fair play. As we sweep round here, we're going to see a beautiful, amazing, a gorgeous lake here on the left-hand side to a green, which looks like it's on, you know, 2 tiers right there. But you were telling me it gets narrower as it goes back there. So what's the emphasis? I mean, do you want to get further down there with the, like you say, a more lofted club in your hand so you can take it on? But the further back you are, you're going in there with a long club.
When the flag's at the back, you really want to be as far down as you can going in with a wedge, really, because if you're back there going in with a 7-6 iron, it's a pretty, you know, daunting shot with the water left and bunkers both sides.
We're expecting loads of drama down here then?
We'll have to wait and see, John.
Yeah? Not easy to make birdie on this one, is it?
No, it's not. No, it's a good birdie on this one.
Yeah.
It's a strong finishing hole.
And back is exactly where the flag is today, only 4 paces off the back. McIlroy quite well back by the look of it, so he may well have gone with iron off the tee. Cries of 4. And he's missed it well to the right. That is going to be awkward.
He's not a leaderboard watcher, Joe Dean, so in his own cocoon of concentration.
I think that says it all. Well, I wouldn't be making a noise like that if I held a shot like that, but Joe knows exactly what he's trying to do with every shot, and sometimes, even though the result is okay, it's nothing like what he was trying to do, and that frustrates him, but he's keeping that much more under control now.
Like the look of Ben Hutchinson, who's a really talented new addition to the tour, and that's a terrific shot.
Locke has to finish with a bunch of birdies if he's going to challenge, but he's perfectly capable. Not what he was after.
Now 1 hole in front, Ash. Ryan Brooks has been responsible for a monster drive.
Well, I don't go that far on my holidays, that's for sure. Absolutely colossal tee shot. And as a result, he's got that for eagle.
In contrast,
well, this is unpleasant for McIlroy right of the 18th green. He's got virtually no green to work with at all. It's off of a downslope. It's out of the thick rough. All he can do here, open up that club face as much as he dare, try and slide it underneath, play the parachute shot. But of course, there's water lurking long as well. If he can get up and down from here, that would be absolutely huge.
he's made 9 birdies today. A par here, though, I think would be even more of an achievement.
Yeah, Kit's described it perfectly. It's a high tariff shot, this. Really difficult. And he's made a very, very good job of that. That was tough.
So easy to not believe in yourself, but the touch was top-notch.
Yeah, I think my efforts on that would have been going at 100 miles an hour into the lake behind the green. Oh my goodness me. I did everything but drop. It's a maddening game, isn't it, Phil?
Yeah, it's been really up and down stuff for Ben Hutchinson, but with that thought of going to Royal St George's next week, easier to take or easier. Now tell us about the 17th.
Short par 4, slight dogleg left to right. Sensible play, a long iron hybrid off the tee. Leave yourself 100 or so into the flag, which today is right up at the back, nice and close to the back edge, and probably looks from the fairway like it's sitting in the pond.
Sitting pretty, having found the middle of the fairway, Tom Sloman. Not going to be his day today in terms of the trophy, but maybe next time the Wright Morgan Championship at Clevedon, he could be one to watch because he's a relative local to there, coming from Taunton.
Off that huge tee shot. Oh, that will drive him mad, leaving it short for eagle.
His first shot was around 350 yards. His last shot was 1 inch.
That sums up the game in one sentence, I think, because they both count the same. Can Locke rescue his situation here? Beautifully played shot, that. Absolutely stone dead. Really, really nice touch. Keeping the hands in front of the club face through impact. Hours and hours and hours of practice.
Now Sloman trying to maximise earnings and maximise Road to Alcanada ranking points. And I'll tell you what, it looks to me, having done a few calculations, that by the end of the day, barring a collapse on 18, he's going to be the highest ranked player on the order of merit without a victory, taking over that role from Callum Fife.
Huge putt for McIlroy here. Stays high. Oh, that is such a shame. He was 9 under coming up that hole. Hopes of going 10, but unfortunately, a drop shot at the last. It's still a magnificent round of golf, though. 64 blows.
There's no good place to make a bogey, but the 18th, especially when you've kept a clean card, is perhaps the worst place to make one.
Yeah, that must sting a bit. Sympathetic look from his girlfriend on the bag there. And here's Dean trying to increase the lead now. Wow. A long-range bomb. I think that puts him 3 shots clear now.
Chose to keep the flag in, and the ball went in as well. Suddenly, with that, Dean is in full command. He does indeed lead by 3 from McIlroy, whose mistake on the last blotted an otherwise flawless round. So, Kit, what's Dermot's reaction to his still majestic 64?
Dermot, superb round of golf. How proud are you of that effort?
Yeah, I'm really happy how I played. To be honest, I've been playing very well for quite a while now. I just, my putter's been quite cold, but today it was on fire, so really happy with 8 under, yeah.
Yeah, you poured a few in today. How happy after the good ball striking that's been there to see you get rewarded for it?
I can't really describe because there's so many tournaments this year. I've just put it poorly. Haven't really hold anything, and you know, I've maybe shot 1, 2 under, but it's getting you nowhere here. But to shoot 8 under in the final round, it's it's nice. It's nice.
How much did you enjoy the test and the layout here at the Vale?
It's a fantastic golf course. It's really good that we played a reasonably tough course off the tee. Very, very. The fairways are, the fairways are pretty wide, but if you're missing the fairways, you're nearly making bogey, you know. So it was a good test of golf, and I really enjoyed the golf course.
So, will it be delight for Dermot or joy for Joe? The climax at the Vale is next. In a county known for cricket, the golf on display in the Glal.UK Worcestershire Masters has bowled everyone over. The likes of James Fraser, David Wicks and especially Dermot McIlroy have lit up the Vale on the final day. But Joe Dean is now within striking distance of his maiden success on the EuroPro Tour. A trio of pars will almost certainly get the job done.
Second shot into 16 for Joe. And though we say he's not a leaderboard watcher, but he must have a very good idea of where he's standing now. That's a bit left. The sound of golf ball on timber, where's that gone?
Yeah, multiple sounds.
Superbly controlled shot from Hutchinson there. Looks like he went with the big dog off the tee, very close to the green.
Around this time 3 years ago, Sam Locke was shooting to worldwide fame as the silver medalist in the Open at Carnoustie. And clearly here, rounding back into something approximating that form.
Well, Phil, if he had a bomb off 16, this is the result of Ryan Brooks' tee shot on 17. Eagle putt.
Now back to 16.
Joe Dean's ball spent a fair bit of time rattling around in that tree before popping out here just short of the green. 48 yards to that pin, a relatively straightforward pitch. One thing just to be mindful of, anything that goes a bit past it will gather in the bowl at the back of the green, but he'll still fancy his chances of making birdie from here, even after a little visit to the trees.
I think he got a little bit lucky there, Dean. Might just help refocus him. One thing's for sure, girlfriend Emily will be pacing the floor wherever she is, following hole by hole scoring. Just praying her man is going to get it done. But that will help. As Phil said, I think parring in will do the job.
Well, after that very nifty approach, Hutchinson for a birdie. Well accustomed to doing that this week. In the tournament he's made 1 eagle and that was his 18th birdie.
Talking of eagles, Sam Locke's effort on 16 just burnt the edge. Plenty of pace on it. And that one went off in his hands a little bit.
Yeah, normally at this level the players are looking to gobble up the par 5s, but right now a regulation figure would do just fine for Dean, but he wants to get ahead as far as possible.
That one's getting the stare.
Well done. 2 gargantuan tee shots on successive holes have given Brooks 2 birdies.
Hopefully tidying up on 16. Nicely done.
There's no change at the top as Dean maintains the lead. Hutchinson's on course for a personal best finish on the EuroPro Tour, and that also applies to Locke, now on the penultimate hole, together with Kit.
Locke has just found the left-hand rough here on the 17th, 118 yards to the pin. It's actually lying really quite nicely. Shouldn't have to worry about a flyer or anything like that. What he does need to worry about, though, is that pin position. It looks like it's off the back of the green. There's a little tabletop tier right at the back there. He's got to get enough spin to land it on there and hold it on that top tier.
Spin control, a bit more tricky coming out of the rough. Quite a delicate shot. And he's done that beautifully, just running it up the tier.
This represents a real improvement for Locke. He was tied 12th at Harleford in the season opener, and then 3 missed cuts.
It's unlike Sam. Steady player usually, but great to see him back and performing. That is how to hit a second shot into 18, straight over the top of the flag.
Sloman just continues to impress, as does Joe Dean. Fairway found no alarms on 17.
Yeah, he went with the 1 iron off the tee. Safety in mind now. Par is the number, but he's actually got quite a good look for birdie there. No dramas. He's just got to see it home now.
And this could be profitable. Well done to Tom Sloman. A really good closing effort of 66. And as I said before, watch out for him as the campaign progresses.
Absolutely, he's a very good player. Bit of a logjam at 12 under forming. Sam Locke trying to join them. And succeeding. Now it's just a question of how comfy is Dean's lead going to be going up 18.
Now this will require some movement of the ball in the air.
Go, go.
Pleading for the ball to go, but not quite far enough. Tell you what, he's a big lad, isn't he, Ryan Brooks?
He is a unit, as they say. Okay, how big's the lead going to be? Well, the side tells you it's 1 less than Joe would have hoped it, but he's still comfortable.
Yeah, he's a perfectionist. He doesn't want to miss putts for birdie like he has on 16 and 17, but in the final analysis, it's not really important.
If he gets the job done on 18, he won't care one little bit. Out comes the long iron again. No dramas. Perfect position.
Attached to Worksop Golf Club, which is in the hometown of a certain Lee Westwood. And I think Westwood would be impressed by the way Dean's performed, not just today, but over the course of the 54 holes.
Yeah, only 2 bogeys so far in 53 holes of golf. Nothing since 15 on round 1, as he said earlier. It's very impressive golf. Because you can get into all kinds of trouble around here if you start getting a little bit wild. He's kept it under control all week.
And it's always a warm glow when you play a bogey-free round. Ryan Brooks has done just that as he towers over his caddy.
Very good up and down for par there for Ben. Another one at 12 under finishing.
Yeah, currently tied second. 3 behind our champion-elect.
First part of the job on 18 done for Joe Dean. He is a little bit down the right-hand side, but he is safely just on the first cut of rough. He's not going to be able to see the pin on the green. 178 yards, playing a little bit downhill though. Absolutely no future long of that flag. So with his lead, expect this one to land safely in the centre of the putting surface.
Talking of bogey-free rounds, Phil, 3 shots or less from here for Joe, and that will be 2 bogey-free rounds in a row, and that is some performance. 9 iron from just under 180. A little bit shy, but no future long on this green.
Essentially, the task is complete, but not for Sam Lock. A birdie here would nail down second place on his own.
More attacking there by Sam, as you can imagine. Sets himself up an outside opportunity of getting that solo second.
You know, even at dawn tomorrow, when Joe Dean starts his delivery shift for a supermarket, he'll be feeling fantastic.
Yes, he must. He's been waiting a long time for this. He'll be a very popular winner. And just that little one left for par.
He was so consistent in 2018, he was promoted without winning a tournament. Finished 5th on the Order of Merit and got onto the Challenge Tour that way. Now, though, he's seconds away from being a winner. Now, can Sam Lock lock up second place?
Just leaving himself a little teaser. That's worth a few pound notes, that putt. Come on, Sam, knock it in.
We will have a quartet of runners-up.
Runners-up to this man, Joe Dean. Don't know what's going through his head at the moment, but he will be one happy young man.
Don't know whether you agree, Ash, but we've seen some wonderful golf this season. Maybe that's the pick of the bunch.
Yes, I think I'd agree with that. He's an extraordinarily talented golfer, and he's just realised one of his long-time ambitions to win on the EuroPro Tour, and you can see the relief in his face. Well done, Joe.
You've just won the Glal.UK Worcestershire Championship. How are you feeling, Joe?
A bit in disbelief at the minute. Yeah, I don't know, I ain't got any words at the minute. It's great, it's nice to be in winner's circle. Feels a bit overdue, but no, happy as anything.
You've had so many top fives at this level. Is there almost a sense of relief?
Yeah, 2018 was just nibbling at me. So yeah, it's nice to put one away.
You made a really solid fast start today as well. How important was that to get you into the round?
Yeah, absolutely. I know there were, it's a little bit wider the front nine, so I knew there were some guys who were going to probably make a few birdies and crawl up there. I saw Hutchie was sneaking up there as well. So yeah, a couple of good putts to drop. Some very good short game shots to start off with, which were nice because, like I said, I weren't too optimistic a couple of days ago with the short game. So yeah, just very excited.
Of course, the birdies are lovely, but not a single drop shot in the final 2 rounds as well.
No, I thought I was going to save the best till the last then, I thought. No, it's been, yeah, I mean, like I said, just tried not getting in the way of myself. One shot at a time, don't put a number on it, and just see what happens. If it's good enough, it's good enough, and luckily it is.
And you managed to finish top 5 a few years ago without a win. You've now got the win.
Yeah.
How much do you want to be in that top 5 and winning the Order of Merit?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's end of the day, it's what we come here for. It's what we play week in, week out for. So, yeah, absolutely.
What a complete performance from a golfer with plenty of game and bags of potential. Despite being placed under hefty pressure by Lock, Hutchinson, Sloman and McElroy, Dean prevails by 3 and lifts the Glal.UK Worcestershire Masters Trophy. And with the £12,500 first prize, our winner rockets to third on the Road to Alconada rankings, which continue to be led by John Parry, a third of the campaign now in the books. I'm sure you'll agree. On the way to being victorious at the Vale, Dean proved he's no ordinary Joe.